Okay, so we'll start out laying down. And just tuning in with our breath. Let's take that first deep breath in and let out a great big sigh. Letting ourselves melt further down into the mat. And we'll do that a couple times, all the way in. And let everything out. And one more time for now. Fill up. And release. Great. Now we'll just watch our breath. Watching your own breath. Very relaxing in itself. It's like watching waves in the ocean as they rise and fall. But the twist is the more relaxed you become, the deeper your breaths become, and the more engrossed you get in that practice. And it becomes a vicious cycle of relaxation. Feeling your whole body lift and lower on the floor like you're floating in the ocean. Letting everything go. Not seeking the future or escaping the past, just simply tuning into this moment for what it is, and all the subtleties that we normally miss out on because we're lost in our thoughts. Rhythm of the breath, the experience of the body, any sounds you may hear, any sensations that come up in any way. Why don't we reach our arms up overhead towards the rear of the room. And we'll just slide the feet and the hands over towards the mirror. But we'll still stay laying on our back. So just laying flat on your back, shoulders are on the mat, hips are on the mat. Just shifting your feet over and your arms over. And it might be quite slight, so that the arms still can rest gently on the floor. And if you do want it to be a bit stronger, a good approach can be to cross that left ankle over the right ankle and hold on to the left wrist with the right hand. And that just deepens that length that you can feel all the way up from the left ankle up to the wrist. Similarly, equally as important, the compression that's happening along the right side of the body. So think of the inhalation creating the length and the exhalation allowing for the compression. And millimeter by millimeter, we ease into that posture. Letting go of a bunch of rubbish that we've been carrying. The tension in our body is just the accumulation of our life and the stuff that we didn't let go of. See these shows on TV where these hoarders and their houses are so packed, can't even walk around or anything. That's like what our body becomes like. There's only just enough room to do our basic tasks. problem with hoarding is you get so much stuff that you can't get anything new anymore. No room for new experiences. Just stuck in the past. Oh well. So let's have 3 last deep breaths on that side. In and exhale, release with a big sigh. We'll do that 2 more times. Fill all the way up. Let everything out. And 1 more time. In and release. All right, and as we breathe in, we'll slowly bring ourselves back through to the center. Pausing there for a couple of breaths and noticing how we're feeling. Observation is the goal of the whole class. Just developing that awareness and understanding of what's going on all the different levels. And then we'll slide on over to the opposite side as you're ready. And again, if you want to, you can cross that right ankle over the left. You can hold on to the right wrist with the left hand. Diving into that experience physically, what's going on, constantly scanning the body. Developing that deeper perception of who and where we are, physically, as well as mentally. Letting go of any goals associated to this posture, this class, or even this life, for at least a little while. Ironically, by letting go of those goals is perhaps the best way to achieve them. As we stop stressing ourselves out about trying to do it right and soften into the experience. It all just unfolds on its own. Three more breaths on that side. In and release. 2 more. In. Exhale. And 1 last time. And inhale, bring it back through to center. The major philosophical component of yoga is this idea of diving wholeheartedly into everything you do, but having no expectations of any of it. So if it goes perfect, great. If it goes terribly, great. Because we know that we gave it 100% in the process, and that's all that matters. All right, let's pull the knees into the chest, give ourselves a big hug. Drawing those knees in. You can gently rock from side to side if you want to, because people find that fun. And why not? It does give a bit of a massage experience as you gently roll from side to side, and the tissue gets gently squished against the floor. It's okay to let the head rest down on the floor even, just to make sure that we're not holding on to any excess tension. Okay. From there, well, we could lower the feet down onto the floor. If I want to do this, I'll have to give out lots of blocks. But you can come into, oh, I can't say it yet, just enjoy your time there for a couple of breaths. Why don't we take both arms out to the left and to the right, and lower, bend the knees up towards the ceiling if we haven't done. Yep, okay, and then lower the knees down towards the right. You can shift the hips over towards the left, and then that'll allow you to sink that a little bit deeper. You're welcome. No problem. Good habit to have blocks in a yin class anyway. You never know when you might need them. And you can gently look towards the left as well. And out the window you will see nothing. Close down the eyes if you like, and explore the inner world rather than the outer world. In this reality, we have outer space and inner space. Both are equally as vast and infinite, beautiful and fascinating. Except only the billionaires can go to outer space, and it only lasts 30 seconds anyway. We can all go to inner space. Falling in love with the magic, craziness of this moment. And if you don't believe that this moment is absolutely wonderful and amazing, and just take some drugs and you will. But rather than that, just taking the time to observe it, to connect with it. That beauty is always there. Just our perception changes. Physically, mentally, emotionally connected to this moment. Okay, let's have 3 last breaths on that side. In and exhale. 2 more times, fill up and release. 1 more time, everything out. And then as we inhale, gently roll back up the center. And before we go to the other side, why don't we grab those blocks, pop the hips up towards the ceiling, and just slide those blocks underneath your bum and just come into a supportive bridge posture. So it's nothing too wild, really, but it's nice. Oh, did I not get, oh no, oh, I'm not good at math. Sorry about that. You any? Oh, I got distracted. Oh. You'll just feel twice as relaxed once you lay back down. Sorry about that. So 1 or 2 blocks underneath the hips. Might start with 1 and then bump it up to 2. Whatever feels right for you. And it is a simple posture. They're all simple postures. Nothing complex about any of this. And perhaps that's what's complicated about it. There's no distractions. Spend our whole day distracted intentionally from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to bed. It's not a job to do, somewhere to be. When all those things fail us and we have nothing to distract us, out comes the phone. Facing life head on for an hour. No distraction. What's going on in the body? Just continuing to scan with fascination. Whenever you find a pocket of tension, letting it go with each exhalation. Same process goes on in our mind. Observing our mind and what it's up to. When we find a thought, let it go. Floats away like a balloon. You'll never run out of them. Trying to stop the mind is like trying to stop the processes of the body. If you were successful, you'd be dead. But it's the practice of tuning in with it, making that observation, rather than letting it run wild. Let's have 3 last breaths here. In and exhale. 2 more. Everything out. Okay, so you can lift those hips up, slide that block out from underneath. Lower on down for a moment. Maybe let's do this. Let's do something a bit weird if you don't mind. Bring the soles of your feet together. I don't think I've done this here before, maybe once. So this is, you can find it on the internet, TRE, Trauma Release Exercise. So it's referring to releasing accumulated tension in the body through these stresses of life. So basically what it is voluntary, involuntary shaking. So like the massage chairs out in the front there, you can sit on them and they get blah, 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 and it shakes out the tension. Same thing here. And there's a way we can generate that vibration internally. So what we'll do is bring the soles of the feet together. As I said, lift the hips up towards the ceiling. So push yourself up off the mat, hips come off the floor. If that feels comfortable for you, we lift those hips up. And the idea here is that we're just going to fatigue ourselves a little bit. So you lift the hips up towards the ceiling with the soles of the feet together. So it's like butterfly, just that the hips are elevated. All right, holding yourself there. And whenever it feels a little bit tiring, you can just lower yourself down a couple centimeters, and that'll make life a little bit easier and more manageable for another 10 seconds or so, and then you can lower down a little bit more, following that pattern. Till we eventually wind up just hovering above the floor. Now, depending on your energy levels today, you may feel quite fatigued already, in which case great, and you can drop down, or otherwise, if you got a little bit more left in you, we'll just stay there for a couple more seconds. We're not trying to win a marathon or anything like that, just a respectful amount of push. Okay, and that's probably pretty good. We can all drop our bums down onto the mat. And then from there, just lift your knees up. Start to lift them up towards each other, super slowly. So the soles of the feet can still stay together and the knees are lifting up towards one another. Imagine that you're tuning in old radio and you're turning the knob so slowly, trying to find difficult stations. And as you do this, you will find some tremors, little patches of vibrations, and your legs just shake a little bit here and there, and you try and dismiss it with your mind as meaningless, as we usually would. But in fact, this is the goal. So tune in with those tremors and try and allow them to take place. And you'll find a good station, you get some good reception and some good things going on, and at first it might be quite arrhythmic, a bit of shake in one leg and a little in another, and the next thing you know is they start to bounce together and you get some uniformity and rhythm happening. None of it's intentional. It's all the nervous system taking control. But what we can do is continue to lift those knees a little bit higher, continuing to look for another station, and you'll actually find another one that comes in even better, even louder and clearer. And go up just far enough that the soles of your feet are still together. The knees won't reach each other. And once you've run out of room there, you can start to lower them back down with the same principle. Nice and slowly, stopping whenever you find a patch where there's some movement. Now, if this is your first time trying this, it does take a little bit of practice and surrender People are often struck by the fact that they feel like they're losing control, but you're not, because you're doing it intentionally. The wonderful thing about it is, rather than a massage chair which just has some random frequency determined by some machine, this is your own body's physiological response, and the rhythm changes. Sometimes it goes half time or twice as fast, and it's all exactly right. And to be honest, it can really take off. The more you surrender into it, those movements can become surprisingly large. And it can work through patches of tension, not only in the legs, but even starting to get up into the lower back and things as well, as you start to work with it more. Knowing that whatever's going on for you is exactly right. And it's just following that journey. The more you come back to it. And I tell you what, when you finish and doing this, that'll be your incentive to come back to it, because it's really effective. It's pretty much one of my favorite things to do. It's just, you don't have to do anything. It just does it itself. You sit back, relax. Free massage chair thing. If you want to, we won't do it too much longer, but you can drop the soles of the feet flat down on the floor now. Once you get it kind of turned on, then it's away. And you can just put the soles of the feet flat on the floor and still have it going. And when you do that, you can even get to the point where they might even move as a pair, going back and forth like windshield wipers. Is another common thing that can come up, and that's when you really start to feel it in the back and stuff as well. So yeah, expect the unexpected. It's absolutely safe. It's common amongst all mammals. When the lion chases the gazelle goes shit and runs away, and then afterwards it gets away, hooray, and then it has a shake. Shakes it all out, and then walks away happy as. Whereas us humans, what we do is afterwards we don't shake, we keep it bottled up, and we never let it go, and we have a couple sucky days or weeks or months or years letting it accumulate. All right, so we'll just do it one more minute. Also, I'll say sometimes we get this idea that it's like super precious, and if you move, you'll lose it. But that's actually not the case. Moving slightly will actually generally enhance it. You You could even stop for 30 seconds or a minute and turn it back on again if you wanted to, once you've got the rhythm kind of going. Okay, and to be honest, you could absolutely do this for an hour, and you'd find that it would start to get into different parts of the body. You can do it through the arms and shoulders and everything as well. But that's a nice introduction. We'll bring it to a still. Let's just straighten out the legs, lay down there for a couple of breaths. Noticing how you feel after that short exercise and after the class so far. Okay, and we can roll off onto our left-hand side. Just choosing the left because it's associated with the passive lunar energy. Bending the knees, rest your head in your arms, just a couple breaths there. This is really just a transitional posture. And then we'll softly push the floor away and come up to a seated position. So we have blocks, so let's go for Vajrasana, which is seated on the heels, like that. And the reason I mentioned the blocks, so if that's fine for you, then do that. If it isn't, then you can put the blocks between your feet and sit on them like that as well. It's a bit more accessible, so that's all good. So either way, whatever feels nice for you. And let's do a couple of neck movements. Often we do the head rotations just because I find them quite efficient, but there are alternatives. There's the yes option, so we can exhale, lower the chin down towards the chest, and inhale, lift it back up, looking softly upwards. Respect the backward bend in the spine. Exhale back down. And inhale up. Exhale. Just enjoying and observing that experience. What's going on in the neck? The neck is the bridge between the mind and the body. Okay, so that's all good. We can do the no option as well. So exhale, look to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. And repeat. Always being respectful of the neck. We're not trying to win any competitions here. If you try to win, you will lose. Just enjoying the experience within a safe range of movement. Coming back to center. And the last one, what's that? Maybe it's I don't know. It's either I don't know the answer or I don't know what the heck you're doing. But exhale, lower the head down to the left. I'm confused. Inhale up. Exhale down the opposite side. Inhale up. Exhale, tilt. Inhale up. Exhale, tilt. In and okay, just a couple more of those. Again, respectful is the goal. It's essential, in fact. If we do too much today, we won't be able to do anything tomorrow. We're looking at the long-term game. All right, bring it up to center. Pause there, a couple breaths. Now, you can separate the knees, come into lion's posture as well. So rotate the hands outward, palms down on the floor and looking up towards the ceiling. Simhasana, or as I think of it, Simbasana. Okay, so that's a great posture in itself. We're looking up towards the ceiling, so we're opening in the throat. Vishuddha, energy center. If you want to get philosophical on it, which is an interesting thing to do, and one of the great components of yoga, rather than just isolating it as physical. This Vishuddha energy center is having to do with expression, expressing ourselves as individuals through the throat, right, through speech, but it also represents how we express ourselves in other ways, whether that's art or cooking or just general banter, whatever, as well as our ability to listen. And that's a big component of it. In fact, it's said that we have 2 ears and only 1 mouth for a reason. Twice as much listening. Physically, of course, just breathing into that gentle bend through the upper spine. Best way to do that is just looking higher to the ceiling. You don't need to force anything physically, just look higher. Your body will follow along. And traditionally, going way, way back, this posture is accompanied with a sound. And so we can do that. So let's let out a big ah. And you can stick out your tongue if you're brave at the same time. Out, tongue down and out. So deep breath in, like at the doctor. Ah. 2 more times in. And ah. 1 more time in. Everything out. Let it go. Lion. If there's a part of you that doesn't want to do this weird thing, then that's exactly the part that we're trying to overcome. That same part of you will hold you back from lots of cool parts of life. Let's do 1 more with that in mind. Deep breath in. Doing it like we just don't care. All right, sitting up, bring the knees together, rotate the wrists. Why don't we come down, put our hands down, and rather than use our wrists, we'll just take the right arm underneath and drop that right shoulder down on the mat. You can take that left arm and droop it over your back towards the right if you want to. So demonstrate it from the side. Just the arm can reach over. It might even grab that thigh over there or something like it. You don't have to reach it over the back if that doesn't feel right for you. Just whatever feels most appropriate. I'm only here for some ideas. You are the teacher, the maker of your destiny. But really, though, that's the main point that I try to get across in my yoga classes, is to learn to listen to your own body, not to me or anybody else. Really getting the most of every exhalation. Every exhalation is a mini sigh. Exhalations let go of the past, inhalations bring in the future. Whatever comes up, letting it go, whether it's physical, sensations, mental, different thoughts, or emotional, different feelings. Whatever it is, just let it go. We're not here to dwell on any of it. All right, deep breath in. Great big sigh. 2 more in. Melt even further down. 1 more time. Let it all go. All right. Slowly bring it on up. Tabletop. We'll cross it over, same on the opposite side. All right, so dive in that left arm under as you're ready. Once again, option to take that right arm over top. Once again, on that notion of not dwelling, the one of my favorite metaphors for meditation, and that's exactly what we're doing, is meditating, is cleaning out your closet. So imagine that over the years, your closet gets a bit messy, and it gets to the point where you sort of just end up shoving things in there, and then it gets to the point where you sort of shove it in and shut the door quickly. And that sort of is our life. And then when we decide, oh, well, you know what? I think my life would be a lot better off if I were to tidy my closet. It'd be much more, I'd be able to organize things, find what I'm looking for. I definitely need to do it. I'm gonna take the time and do that. And that's that decision where you've decided, yes, I'm going to explore meditation. And so you begin and you start cleaning out your closet. And that's all fine. And you start to find some different things in there. You find your old favorite hat. Oh, wow, sweet. I was wondering where this was. And that's that day's meditation. You finish and you feel very happy, very positive. And then another day you cleaning your closet and you find a picture. You find a picture of an old loved one, maybe an old lover or relative. And you feel kind of sad that they're not a part of your life anymore. And you finish meditating that day, and metaphorically speaking, you walk away feeling a little bit sad, but at the same time, that's not the point. We're slowly working through the closet. And then another day you find your old laptop and your friend actually broke it and never said sorry. And that day you finish meditation, you feel kind of angry. At the end of the day, none of it matters. We don't care about any of that. Our goal is to clean the closet, and eventually when it is clean, our life will function. Just take whatever comes along. Big deep breath in. Great big sigh. 2 more times. In and release. And 1 more. Let it all go. And we bring it back up to tabletop. A bit of free-form movement there. So just moving around however you see fit. This we're schooled and this is free time. Now it's becoming more and more recognized that children actually learn much better during free time than they do during class. And that's my philosophy with yoga as well. I think we get a lot more out of it when you allow it to become intuitive, explorative, playful, self-directed. Best way to teach a child rather than tell them what to do is just put something interesting in the room and let them find it themselves. Put yourself in a certain posture and start to play with it. See what you find. Okay, slowly bring it back through the center. Pause there. Might as well do something hard. Let's come into dragon. Bring the right foot forward. Oh, that's my left. Well, technically it's my right, but bring the right foot forward. And yeah, so there you go. You can start out with your elbow up on your knee if you want, makes it nice and easy, or using those blocks, all good. And then as you feel more and more comfortable, you maybe come down palms on the floor, and then if you're feeling quite flexible, you might start to even bend the elbows. If that's the case, you can wiggle the right foot out to the right a bit more, which will create more space for your torso and let you sink down a little bit further. Now, the caution with this posture is that gravity is working against us, and that it's trying to push us deeper into the posture. So we have to manage that, make sure we don't get too carried away. Our upbringing, our entire culture is based on pushing. As a civilization, pushing ourselves to the brink of extinction. Yet nothing will stop us. except for maybe taking the time to realize there is another approach, floating down the river rather than always swimming up it. And that's what yin is all about. And secretly, it is my hope that we take the philosophy of yin into our everyday life. And that may be our best chance. Let's have 3 last deep breaths on this side. In and release. In. Let go of all the crap. One more time. In. And inhale, lift it up slowly. Take your time. Up on the fingertips. Lift up the torso. Swing that front knee back underneath. And we'll go straight over to the opposite side. As you're ready, take the left hand over to the right and the left foot forward. Once again, start out where it's easy. It should be too easy. You're not going to start on this side where you finished on the other one. But our brain, for some reason, thinks that we ought to. Like it's a progression from the other side. It isn't. We start all over again. Find that you went a bit too deep and it starts to feel uncomfortable, fantastic. That's a really good observation to make. Respect that. Listen to it. Back off a bit. That's called winning. This idea of wrestling our tension away makes absolutely no sense, and it will never work. Like any two parties, when they begin to fight, they will continue fighting, no matter how great a point one of them makes. We can't start fighting with ourselves. Moving slowly, convincing your body that this is safe. Let's have 3 more breaths on that side. In and release. 2 more. And exhale. And 1 more. Okay. Inhale, slowly bring it up. Bring that knee back underneath. And let's just allow ourselves to lay down on our belly. A couple breaths there. As you're ready, we'll roll over onto our back. Lay down in our final posture, Shavasana. So it's just flat on our back, legs straight out, arms down by the sides. And so here we get to just fully embrace the benefits of the class. And notice how we're feeling now compared to an hour ago. Physically, mentally, and emotionally. Found that my classes can become a little bit philosophical in nature, in yin. Just to fill the time, really. It's not really much else to say. You go into a posture, you stay there a while. It's what's going on underneath that makes the difference. Sometimes people practicing yoga think it's all about finding the end of the rainbow. Really, we're just trying to learn to enjoy it for what it is. To reach the arms up overhead, stretch out the fingers all the way from tips of fingers to tips of toes. As you're ready, you can roll off onto the left-hand side for a nice night's sleep. If you do have some things to do tonight, you can roll to the right side as meant to be a bit more energetic. So whatever feels all good, bend the knees, rest the head in the arms. Take a moment to thank yourself for turning up. That's the hardest part. That's where most people get hung up. And then a few of us make it. Softly push the floor away, come to a seated position, face the front of the room. Bring the palms together in front of the chest, and we'll close the class with the mantra Om 3 times, just because singing is good for us as stretching is. Doesn't matter how it sounds, it's all about how it feels. Take a deep breath in. Doesn't mean anything, it's just a sound, a vibration. Oh. pulse through your whole body. Okay, so that's everything. So namaste, have a great sleep. Make sure you wake up before driving your vehicle home. But yeah, otherwise, cool. Thanks for coming. Yeah. Firebrand.love on the internet. You can find this class and many others like it. So check that out as well. And yeah. See you all at 6 a.m.